Hi everyone, welcome back to my home studio. I am Karen with Walsh of Karen's Pots and Glass, and in this video I'm going to show you this cool little tool. This is a handle puller, or some people call it a handle extruder, even though you're not really extruding it through something. But this was sent to me by Artisan Pottery Tools, the same company that sent me the chattering tool that I showed in a different video. And honestly, I've never been interested in one of these handle pullers because I'm like, I love making handles. I love pulling handles and stuff like that. And I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. And I was surprised at how much I really, really like it. I think it's really nice to be able to have a handle blank that I attach to the mug and then I just pull it. So it worked really well. You can give something like that a shot. I know lots of companies make them. I'm gonna have this and a couple of a variety of others in some future videos to show you. So I hope you enjoy it. Drop me any questions that you have below, and I hope you all stay creative and keep potting out there. So the way that I use this is I take a block of clay, okay, and if it's a little bit stiff, I think that's fine. I'm going to put it down in there, make sure that the handle is totally underneath the level, and then pull it, and there we go. Now, this handle is not done yet, but I am going to be attaching it and pulling it. So this little seam on the back will get slightly flattened when I do the pulling action, but I think this is a great way to start as like a little lug for a handle. So I'm going to pull a few of these, and then I'll show you how I attach them onto my thrown mug forms. The nice thing about the clay being just slightly drier is that when you get to the end of the block, it pulls the little handle part right out. If it's real sticky, it doesn't pull out as easily. Okay, so now I have the handles that I made and I'm ready to attach it. And I wanted to show how you can pull. Now, there are different ways that you can attach handles. You can attach them from the top and pull, so it pulls downward. You could attach them from the bottom and pull upward. I'm just going to do this one from the bottom. So what that means is I'm going to put a bevel on it because the bevel is going to coincide with the angle that it's going to be sitting on the pot. And before I attach it though, I usually like to do something that I would do anytime I'm pulling a handle and maybe even making a lug. I'm just going to fatten up the end a little bit. I like to just kind of compress it a little bit. It widens it, it fattens it. It just adds a little bit of extra clay right there to the joint. Sometimes I just use my finger. I do like this little tool. I've got these on my Etsy site. I make these little wooden tools. I think they're really nice. They've got a nice little rounded end there, and it's helpful for a lot of different things. So that just kind of compresses it, winds it up a bit, so it's more than just the little cut coil there. Okay, now when I'm ready to attach this, I am a big advocate of scoring and slipping, and I'm usually looking for if there is one area that has maybe a little bit of a flaw, and I can put the handle on the flaw part. Okay, so I'm going to score that. I'm going to score this, and again, it is angled, so it fits a little bit more easily. Then I'm going to add slip just to one of those two surfaces. Then as I place that on there, I make sure that it's even, that it's level, that it's not twisted. Okay. And then place it on there. I look from underneath. That looks good. I can always clean it up later with a paintbrush. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit on the pot for probably 10 to 15 minutes. And then after it sits, I'll be able to pull. Now, this one I attached about 15 minutes ago, and this one is ready to do the pulling with. Now, when I pull a handle, I like to have a little bucket or a cup of water underneath where I'm going to be pulling. I make sure that I get the handle nice and wet. If you let this sit too long, the handle end will end up by drying. This one might have been close to being a little too long. It might have been closer to maybe 20 minutes or so. I could have caught it a little bit earlier. The reason that I like to allow it to sit for 10 to 15 minutes before I start pulling is it gives the handle a chance to kind of settle in, and I feel like the attachment is more secure. If you stick it on and then pull it right away, sometimes I have difficulty with it pulling off. Okay, so now this one is going to be flipping this direction. So I want to kind of take a look and see how much more I need to do. It looks like I'm just about there. I'm just going to pinch off a little bit on that end. And I like to make sure that it's nice and even, and it is thinned quite a bit from where it was initially. Now, I am going to trim off this end. Let me just trim this and then I'll show you. There we go. It was a little asymmetrical there on the end. So I made it just a little bit more symmetrical. And then I'm going to add some scoring up here. And I should say that this cup is just leather hard. I like to do this before my cups set up too much. I don't like it to be too dry, or else then you get handle cracking. So now this is just going on there. I want to make sure that it's nice and even, so it's not creating a twist. There we go. Then I'm going to set this down. I'll move this out of the way. And I like to make sure that I adhere that on pretty well. So I'm going to use a little hand pressure on the interior. And I'm using a little tool here on the exterior to really kind of push that together. I keep my finger on the inside of the wall so I'm not stretching it and making it not oval. Okay, so there we go. Now, I still need to clean this up a wee bit. I'm going to be taking a paintbrush to that, but I'm going to just let it kind of dry up and get a little less sticky. I'll just put it in my damp box to get it nice and evenly moist until I clean it up. Okay, now this is the opposite side to pull on. So this one, I attached it from the top, and of course I made the bevel at the opposite angle that I made the one with the bottom attachment. Okay, and again, I wet that handle. Make sure that it's evenly moist. I felt like there was a chunk right there. Okay. People have different preferences on, where they attach for handles. I personally I change it up depending on what kind of and style of mug that I'm doing. Some I really love to have it attached on the bottom, some I love to have it attached on the top. So now I've got that pulled. Oops, sorry. I've got that pulled. I'm going to go ahead and score. I think I'm going to have a little extra here. Slip, and then there we go. Got that lined up. And then I'll pull off the end. Okay. And this one, I'm going to tweak this. little bit better internal form there. And then again, I'm going to let that set up a little bit before I do much cleaning on it. There we go. And a big old thank you to Artisan Pottery Tools out of Canada, who sent me this great little handle extruder along with chattering tools from other videos. I will put a link in the video description so you can find it. And there is a little discount code too, so you get a discount. So I hope you all enjoy it. Stay creative and keep potting out there.